Ooh, yeah, that was ugly. Let me tell you something. Jesse Vargas just got the shit beat out of him. Big time. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. We're going to give you, remember, I do all my videos uncut pretty much. So this is live real time as it's happening. What round was that? Round number 10, Beefy Smith stops Jesse Vargas. Now Jesse Vargas is, here, let me mute this. Is supposed to be retiring. That fight went exactly how I thought it was going to go, man. You know, Jesse Vargas, he started off hot, like really, really hot. And I was concerned because Liam Smith, who I've been covering for about the better part of 10 years now, you know, literally, like I've may have covered across 2 channels, maybe about 9 of his fights, I believe. You know, let's go look at his resume real quick before we get you some highlights of the stoppage and the fight. High volume pressure power puncher. And Jesse Vargas has no business at 154 pounds, because I was thinking to myself, yo, eventually you get to a point where your power don't carry up. And remember, he was also dropped by Mikey Garcia, a 135-pounder. Great atmosphere there, by the way, in New York, Madison Square Garden, 17,000 plus in attendance. My colleague Donnell is there covering the event from New York. There is a column in the corner, former world champion. So let's talk about it. Here's Beefy Smith before we get you some highlights. More shots of the arena. Irish and Puerto Rican crowd, heavy. So, you know, Kurbanov, a lot of people felt that he beat him. This was to be a WBO mandatory. This fight against Fowler was back and forth until he got the stoppage in round 8. Same Eggington, somewhat of a high quality fight on a domestic level over in the UK. Then you have Jaime Munguia. Remember, we're just waiting for them to read the particulars and get you some post fight. The 2 Liam Williams fights were pretty good. And Canelo, and I've covered a few of these. I don't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure I covered this one right here, and a couple of other fights here. I think like Jason Wilborn. I don't remember. Remember his really, really big fight, breakout fight, was against Canelo when Canelo moved down to fight him for that 100. And by the way, Jesse Vargas is going to be pissing blood. I think that's pretty much for sure. You know, Liam Smith, he's known to be somewhat of a slow starter, but once he gets going, and especially, you know, you don't want to see a fighter like him with your back against the ropes, because he's going to unload on you. You know, and he's got the power to stop you, as you can see. Let's turn it up. Once again, take your time out. Like the video. It really does help us get back up in the YouTube algorithm. We were suspended. Not suspended, but blacklisted. Shadow banned on YouTube a few months back, about 4 or 5 months ago. So we're starting to really get our momentum back on the channel again. We're here every weekend covering these fights. The main event next, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. Then we're going to switch over to a Top Rank on ESPN to watch Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. Let's listen in and turn it up.
The official time of the stoppage, 41 seconds of round number 10. Your winner by TKO and the new WBO Intercontinental Middleweight Champion, Liam.
I'm going to break down the rankings for you to actually talk about what this means. Are you going to vote for Jesse Vargas? He's running for Congress.
He said, my brothers will tell me if I'm done. They'll sit me down and say it's time to walk away, Liam.
Yeah, I'll show you his political shit.
Here ringside. What do you think his brothers are going to tell him after this fight?
I'll tell you, you got a lot left in you, and to keep on going.
T Street Politico. I think I'm going to start a channel called that. Here's my Twitter. Let's pull him up.
Next month, Brian Castano and Jamel Charlo. After that, we could see them fracture and present an opportunity for Liam Smith.
Hold on, I'm waiting for the post-fight interview. Are we not going to get one? Like, I hate when they do that. Like, interview the man. I want to hear what he wants to do next. Because the same thing Chris Mannix is talking about, you know, we're going to talk about next. But I want to hear, You know, yeah, strap him up. But I want to hear what he has to say. Like, if Jessie Vargas would have won, would they have interviewed him? Well, anyway, let's talk about the rankings real quick. Jessie Vargas did start hot, though. He did start hot. I got to watch when they put that damn code down in the bottom for the zone. That means they're trying to copyright your ass. When you see those numbers pop up on the screen, that's what that means. That's how they're able to find content. So a lot of people think that when I'm doing these cuts, it's like some bullshit, you know, editing. But no, it's, you know, it's to avoid copyright. You can't show clips all the way through, or the bot automatically picks it up and blocks the video. So people bitch at me every single week. You know, show the fucking footage, me. It's like, yo, it don't work like that. Like, you better take what you can get. It's fucking YouTube. It's jungle out here. And I'm tired of being harassed. Anyway, here's the 154-pound champions. There's a nice 8K shot. Beefy. It's only two of the brothers left actively fighting. Paul and Steven Smith are both, I think Steven's retired too, right? You know, Column's still competing now at 175 pounds. And Liam inching closer to another title shot at 154 pounds. So look, here's the champions right now in the division. Charlo Castaño are fighting May the 14th, just in 2 weeks. That's going to be able to undisputed, hopefully it ends in, you know, draw. You know, I won't have a winner of that fight. Aries Lindy Lara, he's fighting Gary Spike O'Sullivan on the undercard of Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero at the end of the month. Tim Tszyu is the current WBO mandatory. He defeated Terrell Goucher in the primetime main event of a Showtime event. So you can only expect that, you know, if you're following the politics, that maybe he'll fight Tony Harrison, you know, or WBC interim champion who's not listed right here, Sebastian Fundora. Israel Madrimov of Michel Soros supposed to be fighting soon. Hold on 1 minute. Be right back. Yeah, they didn't give my guy a post-fight interview. But anyway, so realistically, logically, next for Liam Smith, I guess somebody else at the WBO rankings. You can't really, you know, because everybody's pretty much tied up. He's the interim champion. He's fighting on dark matches to be the mandatory and get the first crack at Charlo Castaño. So basically, you know, Liam Smith is not going to get a title shot anytime soon. Here's why. Because first in line is Muratalla. That's if the winner of Charlo Castaño stays at 154. Second in line is going to be Sebastian Fundora. Third in line is going to be, Muratalla is next. Then Tszyu as far as mandatory. Then Fundora. Then the winner of Madrimov Soro, which is happening again. I forgot exactly when. So in the meantime, unless he wants to move to 160 pounds, you know, and maybe target a Demetrius Andrade fight, which is another reason why I thought that Jessie Vargas was going to lose, because he can compete at 160 pounds. By the way, they're about to get to the main event. We'll talk about Liam Smith, Jessie Vargas later on in a stream that I'm going to do to wrap up this whole event. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. I am T Street Controversy with Fight View 360.